Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Thursday Mornings with Alex and Don, where Pastor Don answers all of your questions on theology, parenting, and whether he can tell if you're sleeping in church. Enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Pastor Don.
Well, hi.
How you doing?
I didn't blow away.
You didn't blow away. That's good.
Yeah. I thought it was good.
Yeah. No kidding. We lost power like at, like 9 o'clock. So I'm like, well, I'll go check the pigs. And it's one of those things Rob's like, yeah, just don't do that, because then you're just going to find a bunch of stuff you have to fix. And that's exactly what happened. And
Exactly.
But got to get out the generator, try it out, see if it would run everything in the house on that power. It can't. But once I unplugged all the Christmas lights and some other stuff that didn't need to be plugged in, then it was fine. So
That's the way ours is too.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get the good stuff, the stuff we have to have.
Right. Fridge, freezers, furnace.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's about it.
That does make life easier.
Oh, yeah. But I brought in my little hunting heater just in case. So, yeah. Even had a little battery pack so my wife could plug her phone into it. She was like, oh, you were all ready for this. I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to get all this cool man stuff around.
Hunter-gatherer.
That's right.
Guy stuff.
Guy stuff. Yep. So, did you watch last week's episode?
I did. What was wild was Linda gave an illustration in the middle of there, and I was visiting my children up in Michigan, and my grandson pulled one of those.
What was that?
One of those things that you don't want to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to laugh, but it's just so funny you can hardly keep from it.
Yep.
And then I had the added distinction of the fact that this was Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a Grandpa can't egg it on, but it was so funny because I didn't have to deal with it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Someone else's problem. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know my mom said, I wish I could have swept the whole having kids thing and gone straight to the grandkids. It's much more fun.
Oh, yeah.
I get to go home at night. Yeah.
Right. And we can tank them up on sugar and send
so
them
long.
home.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Let's have ice cream, guys. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that episode got we were just sitting here we were sitting there talking, and then 10 minutes in I was like, I completely forgot to do an intro or anything like that. And I'm like, yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna keep going with it. We'll see what happens. And then I turned off the end, and she was like, what was that? Is that the practice? I was like, nope. She goes, oh goodness, I hope I didn't say anything bad. Like, no, you were great. I love talking to her so much that it just unraveled quickly, but good stuff. So we wanted to talk about you, because you've got a background in counseling, or is it psychology, or what are we talking?
Pastoral counseling.
Okay.
And so I've practiced family systems therapy since the early 80s.
Okay.
So I've grown a lot, and then not only the family systems as far as individual counseling, but also using family systems in couples counseling and family counseling as a group. And then that actually has moved into working with congregations. I mean, believe it or not, the congregation is a family system.
Sure.
And how does that system work? And what feeds different tendencies of congregations to do certain things. And whether we like it or not, we do develop a corporate personality as a congregation. And what feeds into that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I've been studying here more recently is the DISC profile and how that feeds into personality individually, and then you overlay those diagrams, those graphs over each other, and then you can tell how a group, maybe a board or a committee, how they interact with each other. So it's based on their personality types.
So a DISC profile is a questionnaire that you kind of fill out.
It is an inventory, much like the Myers-Briggs.
Okay.
What I like about the DISC over the Myers-Briggs is I can actually go to Scripture and say, Jesus sort of knew about this too.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to Mark 12 and beginning verse 29 after, and he's asked by a lawyer about, so what's the greatest commandment? And Jesus says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength.
Yep.
And love your neighbor as yourself. And those four are in Mark's gospel. They aren't in the other Gospels. But what I like about it is that goes all the way back to Hippocrates, who was the one who basically said there seems to be 4 major flows of the personality.
Okay.
And well, it's not new stuff.
No.
It goes way back. And if Jesus said something about it, I sort of perk up my ears.
Okay. So you can kind of look at a group or a board or something, and you could be like, that person's the problem. Get them out.
Well, usually the problem isn't an individual.
Okay.
It's how the individuals work with each other.
Yeah.
And what I like about working with a disc profile, like the one we did on you,
Yep.
is the fact that, okay, so do you desire to talk to people, communicate with people in a better way?
Mm-hmm.
Now, communication, we always think communication is me talking to you.
Yeah.
But communication is actually that which exists between us,
Right.
where I'm giving my piece to you and you're giving your piece to me, and we develop that back and forth. It's not just one way.
Yep.
And so what the disc profile gives us is, I know my type, I know your type, I know what will get your dander up.
Yeah.
And if you studied it, you know what gets my dander up. And we can talk in a different way with the goal of helping the other understand where I'm talking from.
Right.
A lot of communication is being talked about these days, but it's just talking. It's not communication.
I know that's one of the things that said in the profile that I got after taking it, is that I desire to have like a really good communication. Like if it lacks in any way, man, I can't tell you how frustrated that makes me.
And your style is unique because you've got that influencing piece, so you want to influence.
Yeah.
But you don't want pages and pages of data as much as you want good, concise, clean, true to fact data that you can use and speak of. And I think you came out a chancellor.
Yeah.
And so you're an advocate in a way. I'm an advocate in my last profile I took, which is interesting. But you will do it with good, solid data, and without that, you're frustrated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's definitely the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that from time to time, or all the time, especially in work and marriage and stuff like that, is I want to see like just an example, and I can bring this up between my wife and I because I came out wrong. So, son's got a rash on his chest, right? Doctor says to use cream A, ointment A, because he's teething and he's spilling milk on his chest, and it's kind of working, kind of doing a good job, but there's other steps that we have to take along with this medication, and she goes rogue on me one time when she went up to her mom's house, and she gets another cream, and I'm looking up this cream, and I'm looking up spec data and all this stuff. Of course, I know her personality type enough now that was a bad idea to challenge her in that way. But to me, I'm like, look, I've got the data. You have no reason to be upset with this. You were wrong. So let's go back to and she said, she knows me well enough. She goes, fine, that's what we'll do. We'll use that other one. It didn't get better. It got worse. And I'm like, okay, fine. Just do whatever you think is right then, I guess. And start using the other stuff, and it's clearing up a lot now. So I wanted to go with the data that I knew. And then at the end of the day, it didn't seem to help at all, But I thought that was kind of an interesting case that happened just recently. So,
and Carly played that right.
Sure, she did. She did. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she has a master in childhood psychology, so she'd
probably eat this stuff up.
Yeah, I sent her mine. I did one online before that one, and it's just like, I read it and I'm like, it makes me look bad, like doesn't really care about your opinions, is like empathy is completely foreign to this individual kind of a thing,
Well, that's cruel.
And he's like, and he doesn't really care about it. And I'm like, well, that's not completely true. And she goes,
true.
No, that's pretty close. I'm like, okay, but yeah.
But the chancellor has a higher scope of view.
Sure.
So it's not the beauty of that kind of individual is they're looking at the broader picture, and the details, while important and need to be exact,
It's the end goal.
yeah, don't fog up the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Drives me crazy. How we're getting to the end, and this is the path we're going on. We all got to be going on this path. And if you start saying we should divert and try to do something, no, let's go on this path. Yep. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how it said all the little things about how speak to this type of person, or do this when you're speaking to him or her, and don't do these things. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So,
What were they fairly accurate?
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's what I'm finding about this profile I'm doing
Mhm.
right now, is the accuracy is sort of wow,
mm-hmm, yep,
and the three different graphs it gives.
yeah,
So if you're in stress mode, you go into that number 2 graph.
sure,
Yeah. So what I enjoy about counseling and using tools like this is the fact that I think so many times we as Christians have been hampered by hopelessness. And because we are working with spiritual things and behavioral things, we don't think we can get anything done about it. And actually, we're living in a time where, with the Bible as our base and Christian counselors with good, solid training, there is more help out there than there used to be.
mm-hmm,
And it's help that is able to give handles for a more positive future. And I wish that not only for every individual in the church, but I also wish that for every church as a group, working with leadership boards and things like that, to get us at a spot where we don't take ourselves so seriously that we can't receive critique.
oh yeah,
But we also take ourselves seriously enough to speak into every situation
mm-hmm,
and not just let it go apathetically.
yeah,
There's plenty enough apathy in the church that is, I think, guilty of taking us off the task that Jesus gave us.
mm-hmm,
And so I find it as a set of tools in my toolbox that I can help people with.
yeah. I think it's really important. There's a lot of different areas. Yeah, like I'm on the SPRC committee.
Mm-hmm.
We brought you in. You're my 3rd or 4th pick, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
I figures, yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Right down there.
But I always thought it was interesting because when I first joined that committee, and then all of a sudden we started having problems. That's weird. That can't be the reason. But I'm just like, I don't like this part of the church as much. Like I don't like this. Being critical of the pastor. Giving them reviews, saying you have to do these things, and then bumping heads on some things. It's like, I just don't like that. But
it's work that has to be done.
yeah.
And part of it is our accountability to one another. So then the thing that I like to do with a committee like that is watch it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had enough training now that I can usually tell, who's who.
Oh, yeah.
Where our S's are. I mean, 69% of the populations are S's.
What's that?
That's the steady, slow, doesn't like change.
Yeah.
Really threatened by anything being different than what they think it should be. And that's going to be the majority of what you have in the church and the majority of what you have on committees. The problem is if you have all S's on a committee, you're not going to get anything done.
No.
Because they aren't going to even move until we're all on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And as human beings, we seldom always get to the same page.
Yeah.
And you've got 11% of the population are C's. And they're the ones who want to have everything calculated out and put down, and they want all the details. And often they become so focused on the details, they're paralyzed. And so they can't get anything done. And then you've got the I's. And those are about 11% of the population. And they're like cheerleaders.
Okay.
Your mom
Mm-hmm.
is an I.
Okay.
She may not know that, but She's an I. Yes.
I mean, I would put her in the C category too because she's used to be
Very
work in
detail-oriented.
finances, and very,
Yeah, but
very
she's a
good.
cheerleader.
Oh yeah, she is.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the D's. The I's are the influencers, and so they're the ones that you put on the cheerleading squad to make sure that, hey team, here we go, go. And then you've got the D's. The D's are only 3% of the population, and they're the directive. They're the ones that are going to take the task to the end. You want them there as problem solvers. You may not want them there after the problem's solved, but you want them there as problem solvers. They don't want a lot of data. They're there to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably good we only have 3% of the population that are Ds.
Mm-hmm.
So as you look at a committee, then you can say, okay, boy, they need a D in here, or they need a C in here. They've got way too many S's to get anything done.
Yeah.
But then you can also, what's going to happen, and I can almost guarantee it, on any committee, the C is going to sit there with all the data. Some of that data will give answers, and the C will sit there and not say anything. And so then I'll, okay, it's about time you talk. Tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I worked with one committee that guy sat there with all the answers that was needed to make things happen, but was too bashful to say anything.
Yeah. And what is it about that type of personality that makes that happen?
They don't want criticism.
Okay.
They don't want criticism in any form, either their performance or their data. They just don't want that criticism.
Interesting. Do you like criticism?
I need it.
Right.
I need it.
That's not what I asked.
I don't. Nobody likes it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not a C.
Okay. That makes sense. So if I came up to you after a sermon, I'm like, that one part in there, that kind of droned on a little bit. You wouldn't like it, but it would be something that you knew would be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can grow from it. Yep, I feel the same way about that. Do a lot of cooking, and I ask people, and I'm like, I know which people not to ask because
they're never gonna like it.
Oh no, it's not that. I'd much rather have the people who never like it because that's more of a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Well, you like the challenge to step up to.
Yeah. So, and not necessarily to please that person every time, but I just don't like the person that I don't like how the other people are like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. I'd be like, the person that's like, this didn't taste very good. This very bland, just didn't care for it. I'm like, what about it?
So would you flip that and say you really like the person that says, I really like the little extra lemon in that really set it off well. How would you receive that one? Or I like how you did such and such and so and so.
Indifferent. I don't feed off a lot of praise. That was one thing on that wasn't I didn't feel like was super accurate. Maybe I'm wrong. The praise on it. You think I'm wrong?
I think you like it.
Okay.
I think we all need it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like if no one ever listened to this and we've been in, almost 30 episodes and no one really,
right. Yeah.
Then that'd be kind of disheartening, but
I think what I find about criticism that can be interesting is sometimes it's not the criticism. Sometimes it's the way it's delivered.
Okay.
I used to have a lady who called me every Monday morning with what was wrong with my sermon the day before. And I started working really hard at taking care of that. And what happened was the flip side came. And I'd start saying, but you said I was to this 2 weeks ago, and now you say I'm to this, and they're opposites.
Yeah.
So really what it boiled down to, they just had to have something to critique every week. And if you take it too seriously all the time, you can be paralyzed.
Yeah.
Not get anything done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so if someone wanted to, would you say it'd be important for someone to do something kind of like this, to just, Or do they have to have a problem first before they would look into it?
Well, it's sort of interesting. I find the DISC profile works best if you're not under stress at the time you take it.
Mm-hmm.
It probably tells the best about who you are and your personality. The problem is most people come in my office when they are under stress.
Yeah.
And then it's not a great time to give
Mm-hmm.
the inventory. But it is helpful. It is helpful. And basically, I don't use it exclusively, even in counseling. It's, like I said, it's a tool in my toolbox.
Yeah.
And the family systems piece is almost as important as the DISC profile. The DISC profile gives sort of where they're at right now.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to start
Mm-hmm.
in counseling.
Okay. I have a friend who works in he has a psychology. Oh, I think it's a doctorate of some kind of psychology, but he works for a big, what's that company called? Rug Doctor. He's an HR. And I find it interesting talking to him because I was like, oh, I did the 5 different tests for personalities and stuff like that. And I told him I'm kind of disgusted at how accurate it is because I don't like what it says. And he's like, yeah, those really aren't helpful at all. Like, oh, he goes, well, I shouldn't say that. They're not helpful to me. He's like, there's very little that someone who is, like if you're looking for a job or something like that, he said, most people will just say what they want to be instead of what they actually are. So he's like, you'd be surprised at how many people come out as this personality type because then you're just like, love everybody and you're very even tempered and you're always willing to compromise and it's so I could see how it would be difficult to have someone take that and use that as a tool when you don't really know what's going on inside their head. Are they doing it because they want to be super critical of themselves, like too critical, or not critical at all?
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably pretty difficult. You have to weed through that a little bit, or
yeah, you have to weed through that a little bit because if you had so you're putting together a board and you have a task to get done, what would really be the first reaction is let's put all S's on this board. Then we know they're all work together. They're all going to be nice to each other. They'll wait till each other have the whole decision made together, and then they'll move forward. The problem is they'll be comfortable coming in the room and sitting and talking to each other.
Yeah.
The problem isn't the problem.
Right.
And so getting engagement to move forward will be difficult. I find that the challenge is to get good leadership groups together with all the profile together, and then getting the I to realize you need to contribute your intuitive piece, your cheerleading to getting this done.
Okay.
And especially calling out the C and
Yeah.
saying, hey, we need the data that you're putting together in your mind and for this to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need the Ds. We need people who will actually say, okay, it's time to move ahead and get this to the next level. Because we've got our data, we've got this, and time needs to be done.
Yep.
I was working with a consultant down in Wichita, Kansas, and she said most churches have eliminated all the Ds from their pastorates, from their congregations, alienated them, and now that's why we're in the church, why we're in the strait we are, because we've eliminated so many of those who would give direction.
Interesting.
I thought, not sure I completely agree with that.
Sure.
Because I think we've got plenty of Ds in some theological streams that are pushing a lot of agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But at least...
Because it's because they don't want to see the change? Or they don't want to act?
The change that's being made isn't being challenged. And so there's no Ds on the other side of the coin.
Okay.
In the congregational setting, they're being eliminated, where at the leadership level, there are some that are pushing their agenda.
I see. That makes sense.
And there's so few, you don't get them both places.
Right. Yeah. If you've got one in the church or something, maybe they're getting elevated up because someone else they need it up top.
They
or
have
something
leadership
like that.
ability.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is fun.
Did you get to your questions?
No.
No.
Well, I'll give you two more. Oh, I meant to.
Well, and let's let people know that I am doing this actively. If you want a profile, call me or call the church, leave a message. We'll work with you, and we'll.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
My goal is to make people better.
Yeah.
Because that was Christ's goal.
Mm-hmm.
To make us better.
Yeah, it's really interesting to be able to see, to me, where the flaws are and where I need to be really focused on in a conversation or in a situation to be mindful of certain things. And like I said, it's mostly being empathetic, and seeing the need, listening better, not using my own opinions, trying to not form any while I'm listening, so that I can have better conversations or communicate better, and having it be a communication instead of rebuttal kind of a thing. So I'm sure other people can find different ways that they are.
Well,
can
we all have positive. All these are positive, and they all have some negative pieces to them.
Mm-hmm.
The trouble is we either focused entirely on one or entirely on the other, and we don't realize we're a pretty good balance of who we are, and we can always grow, but don't beat ourselves up so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I wanted to tell you that I had Charlie pray at the dinner table, and then he actually did it, and he said, "Dear Jesus, thank you for food. Pray, 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 pray. Amen."
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you know what? That's pretty much the exact structure of every time I pray. Dear Jesus, thank you for this food. Some other stuff. Amen. They picked up on it, but I was so proud of him.
He's copying his daddy.
I know. I was so happy. Okay. 2 questions. Carpet or hardwood?
I love hardwood.
Mm-hmm.
I also know how hard it is to take care of, but I probably would go hardwood.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Last question. Do you have to wear underwear under long underwear, or is the long underwear enough?
I wear underwear under my long underwear.
Okay.
There's just, it feels, what do they call it? Without, it feels a little commando. Just
oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah. Just get that little
and
extra
I don't
barrier.
have so many pair that I can't just,
Okay.
So we just got to guard them.
Fair enough. Yeah. Then you can wear them again the next day because you've got that underwear, right?
Have that much more possibility.
It's like these pants. This is the 7th day without washing them. They look okay.
And they're not moving on their own, so
That's right.
Okay.
They don't even have any dirt on the knees. I had to go change my
That's right.
wife's tire yesterday morning, and then had to go back up and get another one, get it patched, get replaced because of the winds and stuff. Wanted to make sure, and didn't tell her I was doing that. She's like, "Oh yeah, my fairy tire mother came and changed my tire while I was at work." I was like, "Oh yeah, I came up and did that." She goes, "Oh yeah, okay, great.
Oh, I love you, honey."
Yeah. So, all right.
Fairy tire mother.
Fairy tire mother. Okay. That's right. Yep.
I'll share that one with Josh Wenger. He's one of our tire guys.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Don. This is fun.
It is.
All right.
God bless you.
You too.
Enjoy the holidays.
Mm-hmm.